Greetings. Greetings, family. I'm going to call this interesting tidbits. No, I'm not going to call it that. I'm going to call this something catchy. But what I'm going to call it now is one more thing that made me say, wait a minute, someone's been lying to me. So I'm going to just, speak on one thing at a time, and these are going to be very short. I found it very, very peculiar that a whole bunch of immigrants could come to a country, a foreign country, under horrific circumstances, absolutely horrific circumstances. Yet, they could not speak, not yet, but not there yet. Not only those things, not only the horrific conditions and all of the stories that were told about how horrible it was, but they were able to come, and then they couldn't speak their own language. They were killed if they spoke. They couldn't speak. They couldn't read. They couldn't learn. They couldn't do anything. Okay? They could not learn. They could not do anything. Yet and still, these same misfortunate, unfortunate souls were able to create the best, and just about 90%, I'd say, keep it modest, about 90% of all of the inventions that made the world what it is today, honestly. Shit is hilarious. I think this is why they called us stupid. Because if your grandparents could tell you you were something and they could teach you you're something else, I think that's why they would have the audacity to ever say that we were stupid. Because before that, I can't really think of any other time where that would be the case, because, well, we are a good, loving, and opening and accepting people. And that's how we got jacked, to be honest. That's how the hijack took place, because we are, but I wouldn't call that stupid. I would just call that being godly people, good-natured people. Don't let yourself turn like them, by the way. Don't turn like them. We are a good-natured people that believed in heaven on earth. We descend from, historically, it's looking like we descend from the stock, okay? Not the, but the most divine stock on earth, okay? So we are a force to be reckoned with spiritually and biologically. But mentally, something's gone. So, but with the age of Aquarius, more of what's missing will be revealed. So, the inventions. It makes no sense to me. That one thing, it just it made no sense to me. And it helped me go down the rabbit hole to figure out who we were. Because I said, how is this possible? And don't get me wrong, I love all good people. Of course, I love my African people. And I hate that I just said that, okay? Because that's a misnomer. I'm an English speaker. That is literally an English notion and an English word. If you say Africa, You've been indoctrinated by English, the English language, the English ideology, the English hijack. So anyway, so the people of that continent, I love everyone, but I'm not African. And what's funny is, my dad said, I ain't no goddamn African. I'm an American. When I was like 9 years old, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I was like, nope, I'm African. I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy, right? That's so crazy. And then my grandmother, she said that she was an Indian. There's no Africans in my family. I don't know any Africans in my family. And neither do you, the so-called African American. You don't have any Africans in your family. Sorry. There's not one Ubuntu or Batu in your family. Not one. Interesting. That's because our names are Aboriginal names. Our names are Abby names. I call them Abby names. They're Aboriginal names. Yes, honey. Tamika, Sharonda. I talked about that on some video. But you could find people to go more in depth on those videos online. You could find people that really break it down. And can break out some books for you and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's a fact that, okay, I'm getting distracted. So anyway, to this day, there are no inventions in this country that have changed the world that an African has made. And I'm saying that for understanding of what we're all talking about. I want to say Ethiopia, because that's what it was called. That whole continent was called Ethiopia. But for someone that just dropped in on my channel and doesn't know that, then I'm not going to keep going back and forth and teaching that lesson. I'm just going to say Africa, because yeah, once things catch on universally, we can start calling it what it was called. But maybe I'll call it, oh Lord, I just want to get out of teaching lessons, every time I say something, because I'm an educator. So I can't just say it and move on. I have to say, it's not proper to say that. Like, that's not the proper term for that landmass. But anyway, just to avoid a lack of understanding, no one from Africa has moved here and made an invention that has changed the world that I know of. And I'm not saying no one has. I'm not saying there's not one. I'm not saying there's not 100. I'm not saying there's not any. But what I'm saying is, all the inventions that were invented that changed America and that innovated America and therefore the world, right? Because they take everything we do and spread it all over the world. That's just how it is and how it's been. So there has not been any that has came and done that. So why in the world would there be a whole bunch of Africans that came here hundreds of years ago and were able to sink their souls and roots and spirits into the land, into the nature and the essence of what is America, and create things? That's not a foreign thing. That's not a foreign thing. That's a real native thing. Like when they moved here, they couldn't get anything to grow. So you're not going to get Africans to teach you how to get things to grow. You're going to get the people of the land. And that's all they did. And it's in books. It says, all we need is, don't quote me, because I'm real bad on my short-term memory, or quoting things and my short-term memory being precise. Because I just went over the information again and revisited it. But I revisited the information about something else, and then I happened to see this again. But I didn't really focus on it. I just saw it again. So I put it back, back in the cipher. Anyway, that's all for today. I just wanted to say that we should really question everything. Go see Dan Calloway's video. I don't know what it's called, but it's something about question everything. It might be called question everything, or things we haven't questioned. It might be called question everything. You should watch every Dan Calloway video. It's kind of like the basics. That's the granddaddy of the history delivery and proof that we've been lied to. So Dan Calloway is the beginning of providing the information and proof of this hijacked situation of our culture and cultures. Yeah, once again, there's no hate. This is just truth that needs to get out. And it's so sad that we've been dogged like this. They just dogged us. And I can say, like, I would call the culture stupid if they didn't get this information in the information age. Like, you should know that you're not African in the information age. Because now you can see the records. I was able to see my whole family in a Indian school on the roster. Right there. Right there in the Chippewa Crow School. Be well.